anything's worth doing, it's worth doing well, or so I've always thought. And I was not best pleased to discover that I was not the first person approached to write a post for this village blog. I would have thought I would have been the obvious choice. Amelia Chalmers is famous for her organisational ability. I do wonder what the overall standard is going to be that they come up with. I suppose I can understand the vicar being approached to kick things off, as he's used to putting things together for his sermons and so on. But thankfully he didn't start Bible bashing on his blog. I'll say this for him. He understands about time and place. Not everybody does, you know. But the next person they asked was Gladys Snipes. Now, I know she's been through a lot lately, but even so, she doesn't even come to the WI. But there again, as my dear Charles said, my posts can only stand out in comparison, so I take comfort from that. Lockdown hasn't really affected me much, if I'm honest. Charles was at home for a good part of it as they closed the golf courses, but once they reopened, he was off like a shot, and I was left to my own devices again. Doris Jones decided that she was not going to return as my cleaner, which really irritated me. She was a good cleaner, and more to the point, she was very vague about her reasons for not coming back to me. I since gather that she had a health scare, and it turns out she has cancer, poor woman. But it was an inconvenience. However, she did put me in touch with Penny Jackson, who I didn't really know, but she's turned out to be thorough and reliable, which is good. Her husband worked at the factory, and they aren't reopening, so he's out of a job. Doris used to clean at the pub, and it seems Penny has taken that on too. Well, as long as it doesn't interfere with her duties working for me, good luck to her. I miss my committees and my WI. There doesn't seem to be much chance of them being resurrected at present. The flower show's off, there's no summer fair, no anything. I did start to plan a street party, but couldn't muster much enthusiasm from anyone, the vicar included. But it would seem we're still a long way away from celebrating in any way whatsoever, or so it seems to me. I don't miss my trips to Waitrose. It's very convenient to have the weekly delivery. I gather that there's a one-way system in place and everyone has to follow everyone else around the store, even if they don't want anything from every aisle. I couldn't be doing with that. Oh, no. No, I book the delivery, it turns up, and that's it. Done. I did venture up to the garage the other day, more for something to do than anything else. I took the Mercedes up to fill up. I was horrified, as you can well imagine, to see that Mr. Greenway has seen fit to employ that petty crook, Danny Black. I saw him skulking around near here a while back, and I thought he looked a bad lot then, and it turns out I was right. He got caught stealing from that house where the poor woman tried to kill herself. She died anyway in hospital, poor thing, and that little lowlife thought he would break in and help himself. Luckily, the Snipes boy and the vicar were on hand to apprehend him. Do you know, I might even have paid money to see the vicar in action. Anyway, bold as brass, he came out to put fuel in my car. It's a top-of-the-range model, for heaven's sake. I told him I was not having him touch my car. Then Mr. Greenway, who'd been watching from the shop, came out to see what was going on. I told him I wasn't going to have some petty crook anywhere near my car, and I was shocked that Mr. Greenway had seen fit to employ such a person. He then had the almighty cheek to tell me that nobody was going to fill my car because he would not tolerate my attitude, and he sent me on to Burgess's down the road. Cheek of it. Besides which, Burgess's are 2p a litre dearer. I was livid, I can tell you. I told Charles when I got home I would not be going to Greenway's again in a hurry. Charles seemed to think I was being unreasonable. I poured myself a very large gin. The good news, however, is I can visit my hairdresser again. I have really missed having my hair done regularly, and my facials and my manicures. Actually, I can't have a facial or a manicure for a while yet, and I had to wait to get an appointment for my hair. Really, I've been going regularly for years now. You would have thought they would have prioritised their best customers. Anyway, they didn't. But I do have an appointment, and I am looking forward to it, even though we will have to wear masks and conversation is apparently not to be encouraged and no refreshments will be on offer. Well, I can put up with all of that, just for the sheer joy of being able to recognise myself when I look in the mirror again. These straggly locks are really not for me. I know people have somewhat more casual attitudes these days, but I feel it's important to take a pride in your appearance. It's like everything else. If a thing is worth doing, it's worth doing well. I wonder how many more posts they would want from me. I'd better find out and get organised. Meanwhile, you can read about my exploits and all my village mates' exploits in the Corona War series, a series of 4 books written by for all of us. Catch it on Amazon. Rosie Teale, Rosyteale. Bye for now.